Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 22, round 20 of 22 in our third and final season of challenge mode here. And we're heading to Mexico for the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit in Mexico City with a chance to wrap up the Drivers' World Championship. We won the Constructors' Championship last night, and tonight we have a chance to win the Drivers as well. As you can see, we currently sit 67 points clear at the top with just 48 points remaining in the Constructors, so we already have that wrapped up. And in the Drivers' Championship, you can see that with a maximum of 30 points available to a driver, we have a 22-point lead over Max Verstappen, and our teammates are separated by 14 points. So at the very least, we could rule Max out of the championship tonight, and then potentially, depending on what happens to Felipe, if Freddie wins, Felipe comes third, that will win Freddie the title. So, be interesting to see what happens. We're not going to get involved in making sure that happens. Whatever happens, happens. It'll be let them fight amongst themselves. If they take each other out, I will kill them. But they will have free reign to do so. So, yes, we shall see how we do. Evening, Mr. Water. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make the stream tonight, but just about made it. So let us get started. We've got a brand new front wing on the car for this circuit as well. So that has improved our performance just a little bit. We're not going to bother with any targets anymore. We have no point in doing those. Let's just check, see if our drivers have any skill points to allocate. They do not. And yeah, we're all good here. So let's go straight to the race weekend.
Music is in the air this weekend, but it's not mariachi we'll be hearing. It's going to be the roar of the engines and the cheers of the crowd. Formula One is back in the very heart of Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. This is an exhilarating circuit on the Formula One calendar. We'll be sure to see plenty of battles and overtaking this weekend, especially with the help of not one, not two, but 3 DRS zones. With the season nearly concluded, time is running out for the team. Can anyone make a last-minute breakthrough? Can the leading drivers hold on? Only time will tell. There's nothing like a race weekend in Formula One.
Very true, Crofty. Evening, Farah. Good to see you. Right. We've got great weather for this Grand Prix, which is fantastic, because it means we can literally just have at it and fight properly. None of this, our drivers aren't very good in the wet rubbish. You know, it's all going to come down to skill and tactics of our drivers, coupled with a pretty good car. So, we're going to start on hard tyres for practice 1. And let's see, for Mexico, we want to do 19 laps on a stint in the first session. Let's get those switched over now. There we go. Let's swap over the car parts as well. We are going to be using brand new engines for this Grand Prix tonight as well. Well, I say brand new. 99% engines. Our remaining unused new engine that we just put through one quali session, we will be using those from this race onwards for the final 3 Grand Prix. Can I squeeze? Yeah, I can squeeze a bit more out of this engine. 9%. It's a bit rubbish. ERS modules. Again, we have spare modules available here, which we will be using in the race, but just in case something happens in practice and we crash, or in quali, I am going to be using this knackered old one for practice. Have no choice but to use this one on this car, because the one's already dead. And then for gearboxes, we'll go with this gearbox. Save that for the race, and we'll have to go with... I might be able to squeeze more out of that one. Okay, let's get the cars set up. Right, I can't actually see what I'm doing to turn the lights on. There we go. Right, so Mexico. We're looking at probably a 13 rear wing, so let's go with that. Let's go with a 2.8, a 6.5, a 3.5, and a 0.35. There we go, that's our first car. I'm not sure which one that was. It was the other one. Okay. This car, we're going to go with a 1.9. We'll go with a 7 on the front and a 13. A 3.5 and a 0.45. There we go. A little bit of variance between the two. And let's send them off to practice.
Ready, check. Radio check.
Okay, it's green now.
So, as I said at the top of the stream, Freddie has a chance to win the title tonight. Felipe doesn't, but he does have the chance to stay in the hunt, stay in the fight. And Max can mathematically stay in contention, but you know it's going to be tricky for him to do that. So hopefully we can at least eliminate Max from the equation today. No, he stopped it before the barriers.
So this was the Aston Martin.
Last season, that would have been in the barrier. This season, with better braking skill, he kept it out. I mean, he is driving a car of parts that is falling apart right now, so... Right, neither of our drivers appear to be involved in this crash, which is good. It's a Ferrari. Something's happened to one of the Ferraris.
Okay, open.
Which one? Sainz. Sainz is out. Oh, what a shame for
I
Sainz.
think there's been contact on the track. Let's see what happened there. Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Oh, the two Ferraris hit each other.
There's the collision. It's caused absolute carnage.
Oh, that's bad. That's really bad for Ferrari. Typical Ferrari. Well, maybe not quite typical, but yeah, it's
doing any more.
It's not very clever, is it? It's more typical anyone who's teamed up with Esteban Ocon, really. We're at 99% with Vesti, which is a fantastic start for his championship challenge this weekend. Just need one little click of toe and his car is perfect. What about Felipe? 95, it's pretty strong. So an excellent start for him as well. Alright, let's get Felipe's car turned around.
Relay.
Okay, so everything needs a little bit of a tweak. Let's try pulling the camber in a bit. Like that. That'll give us a subtle change on the front wing and the traction, cornering and the braking, but leaves the rear wing completely alone, so our straights will be fine. We'll see if that works. And which way do I go with Freddy's car? Let's go to a 0.5. Hamilton's looking quick again. I did say last night that McLaren could be right up there in this Grand Prix, looking at their car strengths and weaknesses. How many races left including this one? 3 including this one. So tonight, Monday and Tuesday, and actually because we're through tonight, Monday we'll go back to City Skylines. Tuesday and Wednesday next week we will do the last 2 races, and then that gives us a week until F1 Manager 23 comes out. Assuming you've ordered the Shaggy Dog version.
Oh, there's a spin!
Norris is looking a bit off the pace. I wonder if he's running older components. Let's take a look. Hamilton with a brand new engine for this Grand Prix. I wonder if he's going to have a penalty. Norris is running an old engine. It's a lockup for Freddie again.
Let's take a look at the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Same corner.
Well, they've lost
Kept it out the
They've
barrier
locked up.
again. I'm wondering how much of that is down to the fact that the car is literally running running on steam at the moment, running on fumes with its parts. It is falling apart a little bit. Rubbish gearbox, rubbish engine. I wonder if it's partly that or it's just down to the fact that our brakes aren't fantastic. Could be a bit of both. No, you finally got the Shaggy Dog reference. Well, it would have been better if I'd said Sheepdog.
There's been a crash. Here's the replay. Let's look
Oh,
at this.
once more,
Focus on
Yuki has done a
Tsunoda.
Yuki.
And that's an off, and a big off.
It is a big off, but not quite as big as the Ferrari off. Oh, Russell with a turn of pace. As Bottas forces his way past us there. Actually, is that Bottas? Where is... No, it's Piastri. Piastri's in. Oh no, Piastri's in the pit, so that was Russell then. But yeah, Oscar Piastri has done some laps in this session. That's interesting to see. Finally get to see him in a seat. Bottas must be sitting this session out. We got 100% on Vesti's setup there, so we went the right way, which is excellent stuff. And 92% we went the wrong way with Felipe. That's not so good. But we've got plenty of time to get that fixed.
What do you think?
So let's have a look. Okay, we did fix the traction, so it's just the toe that's the wrong way here. So I reckon if we go there, that should fix... Actually, the front wing's still off, isn't it? So let's do that and that, and then go there. And let's see how that works.
Good session.
Good session, unless you're in a Ferrari. And then it was a very bad session. Right, so Hamilton has a penalty. That will be for his brand new engine. Leclerc has a penalty. That'll be for taking out his teammate. Albon has a penalty. Let's see, is Albon running new components here? He had a new engine last time out, didn't he? Oh no, it was a new ERS module last time out. Now he's got a new engine. Okay, who else? Joe also has a penalty. And Joe is also running a new engine. So, yeah, a few penalties. But the only one that's really going to have... Well, the only two that are going to have any real impact on us are Leclerc and Lewis. More so Lewis than anything else. It's kind of a shame for him, in a way. His car is going to work reasonably well here. But that's a 10-place penalty. So that could potentially drop him out. But he might be able to fight his way through. He did that earlier in the season. We shall see. Why is Freddie's track... Oh, of course. His acclimatization so low because he had those two lockups and broke his curve both times. That makes sense. Alright, so he's going to need a very long run in this session. Luckily, his car is where it needs to be, so... I would normally do about 26 laps on this one. I'm going to go for 32 laps for Freddie on this stint here. Hopefully he won't keep locking up. Let's go... with 26 laps. Shall I go 25 laps for Felipe? That's 6 more than we did in the first stint. That should be enough, I hope. We can always extend as well if we need to. And let's send our drivers back out for Q2 or FP2.
Check.
Knowing me, I'll be letting these guys drive it out. Yes, that's exactly what I said at the top. They will be free to battle each other, and if they take each other out, I'll be pissed. But they have free reign to do so. This game, we're going to get Freddie to move out of the way because with that knackered engine, he's going to be slower. There we go. Just want to remove any potential opportunity for our drivers to trip over each other in practice. Yeah, 14 points the difference between our two drivers, 22 points to Max. So, like I said, we could hopefully remove Max from the equation in this Grand Prix, even if we don't necessarily wrap up the Drivers' Championship. But a win for Freddie and anything other than second for Felipe will put the title beyond him. Because that will put him, third place will put him 20 points behind with 20 available. But Felipe's only won 4 races, Freddie's won 6. So even on countback, if Felipe were, if Freddie wins tonight, that makes 7. Best Felipe could do would be with 6 wins and he would lose on countback. Alright, if the Ferraris killed each other again. No, Joe's out. Oh, and is that
now we see
Russell?
Bottas.
No, it's Bottas. So Joe locks up, damages the front wing of Bottas. Maybe there's a little bit of extra damage to that car, and then takes himself out very aggressively in the barrier. And that's not going to do his brand new engine components any good. So, yeah, that could damage that engine. It's the last thing you want, take a penalty, get a brand new engine, and then knacker it before you even get the chance to use it. We've had that happen before. We've had that happen to us. I can't remember whether it was an engine or something else, but it lost about 30. Brand new engine got hit and lost, about half of its value almost immediately. Okay, 97%. So we have slightly improved. There's a little bit more to find for Felipe. We'll keep him running, and then we'll try and make the changes for the third and final practice session. Freddie just needs time on track. I'm probably going to have to stretch this stint. Just need an extra couple of laps out of Felipe, sorry. Let's call him in this lap. That'll be enough. And let's see. We are very close. Oops. So, let's try that. Up to 60%, that's not enough. Need him at around 75%, really, ideally. Just to take the pressure off in the final session. So we'll stretch until he runs out of fuel.
Did somebody spin out there?
A little wobble for Russell. Leclerc looking quick. Had that new engine last time out at Kota. And there is the refuel warning, so we'll call him in. There we go. What did we get him up to in the end? 75%, perfect.
Sounds like a single car.
Oh, Perez has crashed. Perez is having such a bad season.
Thank goodness nobody else was involved.
I'm not sure if that was
a
actually
big
him
crash.
making the mistake or the Alfa Romeo clipping him there.
The team are really
I
disappointed
think
with
he
that.
dropped it
Let's hope
and
it
spun
doesn't set them back too badly.
into the side of the Alfa. We'll check, see who has a penalty. So we want standings. Let's have a look. No one's got a penalty. Racing incident, apparently. Okay, there we go. So, third and final session. We can go 22 laps. That should be more than enough for both drivers. Can I squeeze another session out of that car? Yes, I can, just.
Check.
Let's send Felipe out first this time. There we go. Saves having to swap them over on track after a lap or two.
Oh, we've had a spin.
Max has yet to put in a particularly good time here. He's on the softs. Oh, there we go. He's suddenly started climbing the leaderboards a bit more. And all of a sudden his pace looks a bit more ominous. Oh, another lockup for Freddie.
We can take a look now. So this was the Aston Martin.
That's 3 lockups now.
They've gone wide. They
What's
won't
the
be
pressure
happy
getting to
about
him, I
that.
wonder?
They've locked up and gone straight on.
How does it feel?
95, gone backwards. Alright, let's call him in. His car is proving a little bit fiddly. Okay, so everything's optimal except for the braking, which means if it's 5%, it's got to be there. Which means that has to go back to there. I don't know. That just looks a bit wrong. Let's try that. ERS is almost dead. Yep, I know. It's enough. It's got enough in it to finish this session. Squeeze a few more laps out of Freddy. If we can. He's got his 15 out of 15 bonus. Alright, that'll do. We'll call him in.
Someone spun out.
Another big crash somewhere.
Sounds like there's been a crash. Let's take a look at the replay. Now we see Valtteri Bottas.
Oh, everyone's crashing on this corner.
They've lost control, and there's
That's
the
a puncture.
crash.
You can tell by the sparks. So this is our last roll of the dice with Felipe here, trying to get this car set up properly. For whatever reason, it just doesn't want to go all the way up to 100 tonight. We got Freddy's pretty much straight out the gate. This one's been finicky. There's a word for you, Farah. Ah, there we go. 99%. We got it. And it's not immediately obvious which way to go, so we're not going to make the change. He's got his 15 out of 15, so that's all that matters.
Good session.
There we go, practice is over. The Mercedes looking more threatening than I thought they would in this race. Currently sitting first and second. Leclerc and Hamilton are up there, Verstappen's up there, Norris is up there. I wasn't expecting the Mercedes to be as close to the top as they were in this Grand Prix. But I was expecting Verstappen and the McLarens to be there, and it makes sense that Leclerc's there, given that he's just had a fresh engine. And Ferrari have been improving their car. It will be a 3-place penalty for Leclerc for his collision with Sainz. 10-place penalty for McLaren, for Hamilton for a new engine. Joe has got a penalty for a new engine, and probably another 3-place penalty for hitting someone. Was it Russell that he hit? I forget. Albon has a penalty as well, probably 10 places for a new engine. So a few penalties being dished out in this Grand Prix. Oh, let's not forget to swap the parts over. Get eliminated immediately. Best engines available for what is probably the fastest track in the remaining 3. Or at least, you know, it's got the highest top speeds. Brazil's a pretty quick track. Let's go with our best DRS units as well. There we go. And we'll go with our best gearboxes as well. There we go. Right, our cars are prepped and ready. Our drivers are as good as they're going to get for this race. Let's send them into quali.
Radio check, radio check.
radio check.
So, touch wood, this will be our first and only run in this session. We might have to make a second run if we get traffic. We'll see. But I'm hoping that we can get through without having to make a second run, so that we can use these tyres in Q2. On the fence at the moment as to whether to go medium, medium soft or medium soft soft in the race. I'm yet to make my mind up on that one. I might go medium medium with a view to maybe stretching the mediums in the first stint and then going to a medium soft soft. We'll see. But we will be two stopping. I suppose it all depends on what happens with safety cars as well. So Freddie winds up to start his flying lap. There is a McLaren coming out of the pits, but it won't get in the way. It better not get in the way. That pulls out of the way. And then gets in the way. Get out of the way, Hamilton. That's Norris. Apologies to Lewis. But I would not be surprised to see Felipe goes faster in sector 1, which he does. See if he can get through without being held up by Norris. I'm going to catch him in the S's. Actually, he's caught him at just about the right position there. Wouldn't really have given him any issues. Purple sector for Freddie. It's going to be close between the two. Felipe might just nick this, but we're just looking to get a time on the board that will get us through, so it doesn't really matter which one tops the other one in this session. And there you go. Yeah, Freddie did get held up. And there we show Norris how it's done in terms of getting out of the way. On paper, Felipe should have the advantage here. He has got the higher cornering skill, so he should be theoretically quicker across the lap. I think their braking is the same. And touch wood, I won't spend 5 to 10 minutes babbling away to myself while muted tonight. Okay, so we're through. Sainz is out. That's not good for Sainz. Wonder if his car's got some significant damage after that collision with the barrier. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, his engine's not in great shape, and look at his gearbox and his ERS, they're both a bit knackered, so yeah, that's not good for Sainz. He's not really going to be a factor in this Grand Prix. Leclerc, His engine is okay. His ERS is fine. His gearbox, when it hits 40%, will start to cause some acceleration issues, but you know that won't really affect him until towards the very end of the race. Right, into Q2. Let's go with the same tyres.
Radio check.
Again, we'll send both drivers out nice and early. Oh, that AlphaTauri is going to get in the way. Gah. That's Albon. Well, the Haas is far enough ahead to not be a factor. But yeah, not ideal. Both drivers losing a few tenths in sector 1 there. Probably about 3 tenths each. And they see, yeah, Felipe with the advantage in sector 2. He's got the better cornering skill and the clean air. And Freddie will be quicker on the in sector 1. There we go, nice and close. So it's going to be very tight between our two drivers. We will not send them. Well, actually, I don't know. I might send them out in order like this at the end of Q3. We're only just faster than Joe, which worries me. I know Joe's got a new engine, but I think we might have to go again. Let's prep another set of tyres just to be on the safe side. In fact, how much am I going to lose? 1.5 seconds. Can't be that much. We're only saved by 3 tenths. It's not enough. I'm going to gamble. We're going to go back out on the same tyres at the very end of the session. We should have enough pace in those tyres to improve slightly. Enough to make sure that we can just sneak through. I hope. It's a risk. Everyone else is going to be going out on new tyres. I want to save brand new tyres for the next session. I know we've got more pace in the car than we showed. Rest of the field's going out now. Yeah, I'm committed to this now. So we are through at the moment, but I'm expecting to see improvements from the cars below us as well as the cars in front of us. So we desperately need to improve as well. I think we will find a good couple of tenths in the first sector alone. Beyond that, not so sure. But sector 1 we should definitely pick up at least a couple of tenths, I think. If we don't go greens minimum here, we're in trouble. And there we go, purple for Brady in the first sector. Green for Felipe as well. Ocon, almost enough to improve. What about Magnussen? Magnussen's already crossed the line, so he will not be having another run. It's down to Ricciardo and Albon. They're about to cross the line. Ricciardo improves, but not enough. Nor does Albon. So we are through, but we'll finish the lap anyway, just to see what kind of time we can do. Improvements all around for Freddie. No improvement in the middle for Felipe. But it's 3rd and 5th on very used tyres. That is encouraging. That is very encouraging. And with both Hamilton and Leclerc having penalties, you know, we could theoretically end up, even if we don't necessarily qualify there, on, you know, locking out the front row here. So yeah, very pleased with the way things are looking right now. Let's go into Q3. We'll sit out until the end. Just going to make sure I actually send my drivers out in time this time. Unlike yesterday.
It's green now.
Where we got unlucky with the weather with Felipe. Plus he locked up on his fast lap, and then I forgot to send Freddie out until it was too late. So he didn't set a time in Q3. Want to try and leave a bit of a gap between us and the last car in front, in case there is a yellow flag. That'll do. Show made it into Q3. Good lad. So Hamilton is currently on pole position. Leclerc a tenth behind. Hamilton's got that 10th place penalty. Don't forget, Leclerc with a 3 place penalty. So we're fighting the the Mercedes at the moment. Don't think Max is going to improve. He's running in clean air. He hasn't got the benefit of a slipstream here, and he'll be running on scrubbed tyres rather than brand new tyres. He finished stray. Yeah, about halfway through it, I put it down to play something else, and I haven't picked it back up again. I keep meaning to at some point. Just, you know, I get easily distracted. Okay, so as we come out into the final turn, what can we do lap time wise? second and fourth. And with Hamilton and Leclerc both getting penalties, that is the front row for our two drivers. That is fantastic. Verstappen and Perez, 7th and 8th. And we've got the Mercedes between us and Verstappen, which is very good news.
Tension continues to build here as race day begins.
There was some astonishing work from Aston Martin during qualifying, and their drivers are now poised to have a very strong race start. Although Red Bull must be disappointed with their qualifying, they have resources aplenty. Let's see if they can rise up from their grid position with a strong race. And the race will be taking place under blue skies. That means the teams should be able to apply their strategies without any added complications.
And there are sure to be some dizzying strategies used here today, here in the Mexican Heights. The question is, though, who's going to be the one to climb to the top?
So, strategy. We are two-stopping. Question is, do we go medium, medium, soft, or medium, soft, soft? We're going to start with the medium, medium, soft strategy planned in. If I actually, looking at how that first stint, if I can stretch them to say lap 28 and then go soft, yeah, medium, soft, soft looks to be the better strat. So we're looking at lap 1, lap 30, lap 50, and then if we can just protect those tyres in the first stint, then we can potentially stretch and have even more tyre life available to us when we go onto the softs. Of course, this may change. It all depends on what happens with safety cars, but we shall see. We are going to take a lap of fuel out, as we usually do. This is a circuit where safety cars are reasonably consistent. We're going to use our battery off the line just to make sure that we get through the first few corners holding position, and then we're going to start looking at slowing down our tyre pace a touch. So let's go to the race.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. Taking a look at the Aston Martin. They're in pole position, and they've got to be happy about that. There's the second Aston Martin. A second place start for them today. They're in with a real chance. The teams are ready to go. What will happen next? We're about to find out at the Mexican Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
That's a quick start for that Mercedes. Russell and Bottas both getting strong starts there. Side by side through the first couple of corners, using the battery, and now we're going to go into neutral, and we're going to drop our tyre pace down to light.
Robin.
Ocon has jumped Verstappen as well. That is even better. Max not even in the points. He's got to get past Ocon and his teammate to get into the points at the moment. Hamilton is fighting with Ricciardo, trying to get back up into the top 10. Looks like they're side by side right now. And Hamilton does get Ricciardo, so he's up to 11th. Oh, Ricciardo's still there. They are fighting side by side right now. And Hamilton will tuck in for the slipstream. Sainz in 15th place. Albon all the way down at the back. Joe all the way down in 19th place. It seems very, very harsh, considering his heroics to get into Q3, but he did have that brand new engine. So that certainly helped him a little bit. Verstappen looks like he's struggling to hang on to the back of Ocon at the moment. Let's have a look at tyres, see who's on what. Oh, Ocon's on softs. That might explain it. As is Ricciardo. So both Alpines starting on the softs, as are Gasly and Stroll. Everyone else is on the mediums. And Perez is struggling to stay with Leclerc through that infield section. Closing up under braking.
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
Vesti switching from side to side. Someone's locking up. It's a Ferrari, just about manages to stay out of the back of Russell there, but that was close for Leclerc. That was very close.
Watch this. There's Leclerc.
Locking up in turn 1,
They've locked up.
not turn 17, Frontier.
And the team had such high hopes today.
And Ocon now swarming all over the back of Perez. He's looking to use those soft tyres to his advantage. Honestly, if mistakes like that continue to happen in the next game, I will lose my shit. We are sitting quite comfortable in first and second right now, but this will be the first time with DRS coming into effect on this straight. So as it stands, Drugovich is blocking Freddie here. That's going to allow Bottas to close right up. Oh, Russell tries to throw it around the outside of his teammate through this section here. Bottas is fighting him, trying to hold him back. And there's that gap opening up between Perez and Leclerc again. I'm actually going to up my pace slightly, because there's a chance that we can break away from Perez here.
You can use energy. Use energy. You can use energy.
So we can create a breakaway train. That will leave Perez fighting Ocon and Verstappen. And we'll leave them in the dirt a little bit. As you see in the background there, Ocon looking for a move on Perez. Can't quite get him there. Can we stretch enough of a gap so that the cars behind can drop Perez? That's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to drop the Mercedes, because we're not going to. We're trying to stretch it so that Leclerc can drop Perez. It's close. One more lap like this. Perez is right on the edge. That's the 1 second. So there's a real chance that he might not get DRS on the main straight here. Best is going to make a move for the lead here. Perez did just get DRS, but he's still a second. Oh, now he's closed up a bit under braking again. We are close to dropping him though. If we can create that breakaway group, that's just going to slow the Red Bulls down and take Max out of the equation. And there we go, the gap's back to a second as we head into the S's. And I think we might just about be able to drop Perez on this lap, which is going to make him vulnerable to Ocon. We're pretty much out of battery now, so let's just preserve what little we've got left. We've got the gap. Russell's just about hanging in there. And we just need to stay on this tyre pace now for a lap or two more, just to establish this gap and not give Perez a chance to sneak back in, or Ocon for that matter, if Ocon makes the move here, which it looks like he's going to. And Ocon is 2 seconds behind. Excellent stuff. Okay, so yeah, he's on soft tyres, so he will be quick for the next lap or two, but he's out of the train, so he's now setting the pace of the cars behind him. Someone has spun.
Yellow flag 15, yellow 15.
Here's the replay. Now we
Turn
see
15.
the Williams
It's turn
here.
5.
Look at that.
That was clumsy.
They spun their car.
This circuit is terrible for incorrect corner numbers and sector numbers. It's one of the worst in the game. It really is. Drives me batshit every time we race it. Let's try and get a little bit more battery in the car. We'll swap them over if the overtake is made here, but I don't think it will be. And we are slightly above the curve. Got a lockup behind us. That is a Haas that's going off. That is Schumacher.
Is that a lockup?
On
Let's
turn
take a
1,
closer look.
not 17.
Right, watch this.
Ah,
There's
it
Schumacher.
drives me crazy.
And there's the lockup. It almost got away from...
It's such a simple fucking mistake as well. Why they haven't fixed it after a year, I don't know. It's obviously not going to get fixed in this game, but it damn well better get fixed in the next one. Right, the gap's holding at about 2 seconds. Freddie looking to make the move. Let's switch over the charge. Let Felipe have a lap or two behind now. Oh, Russell having a lunge. Me with the F-bombs. Yep. I've put up with it for a year and it drives me nuts. It really does. It's such a silly little thing, but you know, my autism does not allow me to just overlook it. It focuses in on that and it just makes it worse. Once something like that gets in my head, I can't get rid of it. Excuse me. Okay, Ocon has closed the gap a little bit. Not surprising with Freddie leading the pace. He is slightly slower through sectors 2 and 3. But we're just trying to get some battery back in the car for both of our drivers, so we'll be prepared to switch them back over again if necessary. Trying to do this without really losing much in the way of race pace, and certainly without losing track position. We're almost ready to turn off the charge on Felipe as well. One more lap and he'll be fully charged and good to go. Taking a look at the tyre situation, see Ocon's tyres at 74%. I think he started on brand new softs. I think he was outside the top 10, so he will have started on newer tyres, I think.
Doing a good job, keep pushing. Okay, energy's good. Love it.
Right, Verstappen's moved up to 6th place and is now just 1.3 seconds behind, so we do need to be wary of that. Kind of need Felipe to get back into the lead here if we want to try and stretch the pace a bit. In fact, Verstappen has actually closed back up. He's been able to use Ocon's pace, get past his teammate, use Ocon's pace to close the gap, and then springboard his way past, slingshot his way past into into DRS range. So Verstappen into the points. One is not enough though. He needs a lot more than 1 point. If it finishes like this with Freddie winning and Felipe second, the title will not be claimed tonight, but it will eliminate Max. And we have a yellow flag and a safety car. And that is too early for us to really react on a stop.
Sounds like a few cars have crashed. Let's have a look. Now we see the Williams here.
Oh, is that Gio again? No, I don't think it is. I think that's Stroll.
Goodness me, that is a serious collision. And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
Yeah, it was Stroll. Hit Vettel.
DRS.
Both of them are out. So this will certainly sort out the fuel issues that we might possibly have had. I mean, we were going to probably save the fuel anyway, but we're certainly going to save the fuel now. If we were to box, we'd pretty much end up at the back of the grid, and it wouldn't really do us any benefit, you know, because all the cars that we'd have to overtake means that, you know, the best of the tyres, even if we were to stop now, would just be wasted. So there's no point us switching onto mediums now and then just going medium soft. We'll stick with the strat. But it does mean that we'll have to sprint at the restart and try and break away from everyone behind. We can't look after the mediums now. We're going to have to push them a little bit. We're getting a little bit of extra rubber saved by staying behind the safety car for a couple of laps. Safety car could well change the dynamic here. I mean, we are, let's see, how many laps in? We're 14 laps in. We're about halfway through our first stint. So it's too early for us to make a box. But anyone on the mediums who was thinking of doing a medium to hard one stop, it's now looking a lot more favourable for them. Because we've just lost 14 laps of stretching gaps. And everyone's going to be right back on each other's gearboxes again. So if anyone out there is doing a one-stop, medium to hard, it suddenly just looks a whole lot better for them than it was a couple of laps ago. Because they still only have to make one stop, we still have to make two, as do anyone who's two-stopping. The soft tyre runners are almost certainly two-stopping. But some of these medium runners I expect will one-stop. Wouldn't be at all surprised if Max one-stops this race. And given that he's quick and probably the highest rated driver in the game at this point, that makes him a real threat for the win if we're not careful. Good news is that by the time we get around to the end of this lap, which I'm expecting the safety car to come in at the end of this lap, we will have full battery for both of our drivers. So it'll be 2 laps of sprinting to try and break away before the DRS kicks in. Open up a nice little gap. And then we'll just have to ride as fast as we can for the next 15 laps until our scheduled pit stop. Are we getting the warning? Yes, there it is.
The safety car will be in this lap. Safety car will be in this lap. Happy to push. You can use energy.
No saving required.
So there is no overtaking until the control line, and there'll be 2 laps with no DRS.
It's a very, very bad restart for us there. It might be my fault for attacking too quickly. Leclerc is all over the back of Bottas, nearly managed to sneak his way through there. We're starting to stretch our legs already. Of course we're pushing tyres and battery to do it, but that's absolutely fine. Giving the impetus to Felipe here, given that he is quicker through sectors 2 and 3.
So DRS is enabled now.
Alright, we won't see any active DRS until the second half of the lap through the S's.
So back off.
So there we go, this will be DRS activating. You can see the wing open up on the back of Freddy there.
Yeah.
Now I'm hopeful that the two Mercedes are going to fight each other and slow each other down. Allow us to try and stretch a bit of a gap. Gasly's got in front of Hamilton. So it's dropped him down to 13th. I'm still hopeful that the Mercedes and the Ferrari will be able to break away from the Red Bulls. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Max is now going to stay tucked up on the back of Leclerc now, thanks to DRS. As Blaine would say in Predator, we'll be dug in deeper than an Alabama tick. Gap's up to 2 seconds, so we are starting to pull away. Which is good. Let's get some battery into Felipe.
Good, come on.
Bottas has jumped in front of Russell, and he will have DRS on this straight as well, so he'll close the gap up a little bit. There we go, it's under 2 seconds. Yellow flag in sector 1. Technically sector 2.
Let's take a look at the replay.
But only just.
Let's take another look. There we have Joe.
Yeah, it's right in the beginning of sector 2, so I'll kind of let them off on that one. But that's exactly what Joe did earlier. He spun in that same spot and held up Schumacher. Okay, Ricciardo boxes, so the soft tyre runners are certainly going to be hurting a little bit, potentially, because of the safety car.
Doing a good job, keep pushing.
Russell has jumped Bottas again. That's not good. Gap's coming down again. 1.5 seconds now. Need Felipe to get back in front. Start pushing the pace a touch. We've got 50 laps to save, you know, a couple of 100 grams of fuel, so we're good to push the fuel a little bit here, just to help stretch that gap again. And Bottas and Leclerc are boxing, so they're on mediums. That's the first of the medium runners boxing. And Max is now out of DRS, I think. Did he get it actually off the back of Bottas before he boxed? He might have done. Let's watch his rear wing. I think he did. Yeah, he did. So Max should close back up onto Russell here. Really hope he doesn't. Takes a very defensive line there, but he's closed the gap. Ocon is now struggling to hold back Perez because his tyres are starting to wear out. And you can see hard tyres on Bottas, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Zhou, Schumacher. It's a little early for a one stop, so they might still be two stopping. They might be going medium, hard, medium. Or medium, hard, soft, maybe. But I expect they will be making another stop. Verstappen has been able to stay within the 1 second window to Russell. So Max might be jumping up to P3 in just a second here. Freddie's going to make the move, so let's slow down.
We just need to charge up.
Oh, sorry, Felipe's making the move, so let's slow down Freddie.
Safe fuel, safe fuel.
Let that move go through and then sit and charge behind him. It's about 7 more laps to go until we're scheduled to stop. If I can stretch it by a lap or two, I will do. Gasly's in the box. And he comes out just in front of Ricciardo. So that's worked out well for Gasly. That's worked out very well for Gasly. He's gained some position there. He's less than 2 seconds off the back of Charles Leclerc now. Hamilton has been freed up to try and chase after his teammate who's on the back of Perez. Perez is out of DRS range of Norris. Someone has locked up in Sector 3. It's another safety car. Where are my drivers? I don't think... No, he can't make it. Nork and Freddie. But we'll get out before the safety car, I hope. Oh, please tell me we're not going to get caught up by the safety car.
Contact! It's chaos on the track.
It's Hamilton's out. Again.
Get your delta.
And we're going to get caught by the... Oh, this is bad. We were just too short of the pits. We're going to see some cars behind us boxing, I think, possibly. I missed the replay. Damn it. But Hamilton is out, colliding with Magnussen. Magnussen is the one who caused the collision. And you can see that because he's got a penalty next to him, which will apply in the next Grand Prix. We are going to go ahead and box onto softs.
Drop back a bit.
Good news is nobody did jump into the pits. So I'm expecting to see everyone behind us dive into the pits as well here. I don't think we'll be the only team doing this. In fact, this is a risk. No. He's got more chance of actually getting out in front of some of those cars, whereas he will definitely be at the back of the queue if we stretch it. He's going to lose time stacking up behind Felipe, but he might still be able to at least get out ahead of Joe if he's lucky. Whereas if he goes for another lap, he will definitely be behind Joe. So we'll gamble and see what happens. Anyone else following us in? No.
Copy.
Okay, very surprised. So it looks as though the rest of the field are one stopping then. Yeah, we're going to end up behind Joe and Schumacher anyway. Alright, so this is very much ahead of schedule. So we are going to have to amend the strategy here. Going to be looking to go to about lap 48. And we're going to be very patient in how we try and pick off some of these cars in front. We're not going to go hell for leather on the restart. This has really kind of put us up against it a little bit in some respects. But the fact that nobody else boxed, that to me screams one stop for the rest of the field that hasn't already stopped. So if you take a look at tyres, that's basically the top six. They're one stopping by the look of it. I don't know when they're going to stop, but I would probably guess somewhere around about lap 30-ish, which is when we were initially going to stop. We have definitely got a tyre advantage in terms of compound, but we've got to be really careful we don't burn our tyres out just trying to fight our way through this traffic. And as I say, the fact that no one else boxed is actually going to help us out, because now it's a one-stop race for the whole field, except maybe the guys who have already stopped on hards. I mean, they could possibly go to the end. I don't know if they will. But it's a one-stop race now between us and the top six. And they don't have a big gap. So when they box, they're going to come out behind us, and we're going to be able to really try and push. You go away for a few minutes and I'm last. Yeah, I decided to box under that safety car. So we're onto a brand new set of soft tyres. And we're just going to be patient in the way that we try and get our way through here. We're not going to go absolutely crazy here.
So we just need to push now.
Yeah, copy.
Don't want to burn the grip out on these tyres too soon. And there we go, Verstappen and Perez both boxing at the same time. Oh, and that's screwing over Perez, because he's going to have to stack up behind Verstappen. They're going hards. So they are going to do a one-stop by the look of it. but they're now a long way off the back.
So use energy if you need it.
Yeah, copy.
So we can expect to see a little flurry of activity over the next few laps then. If the Red Bulls have boxed this lap, then we can expect to see Russell, Norris, Sainz and Albon boxing soon as well. They're the only four who have yet to stop. As we get a move done on Zhou.
That's it.
Energy if you need it.
Yep, copy.
DRS is enabled.
And there goes Norris and Albon and Sainz. So it's just Russell who is yet to stop. We know Russell's good on his tyres. And Perez has dropped all the way back to last place. Like I said, really screwed over by Red Bull there. Some of his poor results this season haven't been his fault. Some of them have been down to the team making stupid decisions, and that was a prime example of that. And there goes Russell. So we really need to try and get further up the field as quickly as we can now, try and set the
Happy to
pace.
push.
Yeah, copy.
Struggling to get the moves done though here. And the longer like this goes on, the more it hurts us because our tyres are going to start overheating. We're using up our battery and we're not gaining any positions.
This is good. Come on.
We have low battery.
Okay, copy.
Come on, around the outside. Alright, there we go. And we've also got past Zhou. Just.
Good job.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah.
Get back up.
Okay, copy.
The good news is that while we're stuck in this traffic, we are following the pace of Bottas at the moment, who is lapping faster than Verstappen. bad news is we're not lapping fast enough to make this strategy work. 120.8. $121.2 for Max and Russell. So we are about half a second faster than the cars that were, you know, potentially in a fight with. They've all made their one and only stop. We need to be further ahead than this if we want to get out in front of them. I don't know about the cars in front of us. It's possible they might be able to go to the end. I don't know if anyone else has to pit. If we do box again, we'll be going softs. I mean, well, we are boxing again. We'll be going softs unless another safety car comes out, in which case, if it's before an ideal window to stop, I'll be boxing onto mediums. But the plan is to go softs again, because that will give me the pace that I'll need to cut my way through against worn out tyres. And that's a Red Bull in the wall. And it's Verstappen. Verstappen is in the wall.
Sounds like someone's locked up. We can take a look now. Now here we see Max Verstappen. Well, they've locked up.
Oh, he just kept it out the wall. So no damage, but it has dropped him to the back.
That's going to be a big blow.
And has that just ruled his championship hopes, you know, out completely? Max needed a win, realistically, to stay in the hunt. As it is, we are just outside of the points, and Max is last. So it's not looking good for the Dutchman. No, that's a spin.
Here's the replay. So this was the Aston Martin.
I think that might just have ruled out Felipe.
They spun the car. What a disaster. The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
Stay cool, man. You're doing a good job.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Yeah, copy.
What are you going shit for? Yeah, I mean, for Freddie, that's amazing news. I mean, we've already won the Constructors. This potentially wraps up the driver's title tonight. Or are you not a Freddie fan?
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
Copy.
You wanted it to go to the wire. Yeah, I mean, well, it still might. I mean, it all depends. It's still a long way to go. We're not even at half distance yet, so there's still a lot of race to go. But it's not looking good for Felipe now. He's lost touch.
use energy.
Yeah, copy.
Use energy if you need.
Yeah, copy.
Alright, can we get ahead of... is that Albon or is that Tsunoda? I think it's Yuki, isn't it? That worries me. It worries me that it's Yuki. There we go. Got the position, we've got a slipstream. And we've got a driver who backed out. Just try and pressure him into making a mistake. Come on. Keep your foot in. Nope. Freddie's driving one of those conservative races again. I hate it when he does that. Let's get him to really attack coming out of this section here.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Copy.
Going around that battery. Yeah, there we go.
Copy.
Okay, it's not looking good
Drop back.
strategy-wise at the moment.
Copy.
We just need to charge up.
Copy.
This is good.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
We are still lapping faster than the chasing pack though, just. So there is that. Right, Joe's got past Schumacher, he's got to get past no, Drogovic has got past Schumacher. Joe is next up. Tsunoda's about to get dropped if he's not careful. That would certainly make things easier for us. These tyres are taking a bit of a beating. Did Yuki manage to stay in? Yes, he did, just. Alright, here we go. Let's try and get the move done on Joe. There we go. So, Felipe will finally get clear of Zhou Guanyu.
Currently P8.
He's 5.5 seconds off the back of his teammate right now.
Okay, energy's good.
Okay.
And we could potentially still have to overtake all the cars in front of us on track. They might not stop again. But if they do stay out, their tyres are going to be pretty rubbish by the time we get on them again. So, shouldn't, hopefully, prove too difficult to get past.
Push a bit more.
Okay.
Energy if you need it.
Okay, copy.
Let's break away from these two.
No saving required.
So a nice, good, aggressive middle sector here. And there we go. We've dropped Zhou just about in time, I think, for DRS. Don't see his rear wing open, so I think we dropped him. We certainly dropped him in time for the start of the new lap.
Yeah, take it easy.
Copy.
Save fuel.
Copy.
Go on, be brave. There you go, good lad,
energy.
finally.
Copy.
That's it.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
We should get Ricardo here as well. Yes, we do.
So back off.
Copy.
Pick up the pace a bit.
Copy.
How you doing, Phil? Am I looking forward to the next one? Yes, I am. I will have access in just under 2 weeks. Drugovic is slowly dropping, Joe and Schumacher. Not really gaining on Tsunoda that much. Maybe 3/10 on that last lap.
Got loads of energy.
Okay, copy.
Ricciardo wants his place back. He's not getting it. We've actually looked after these tyres pretty well. Means I can be a little bit more aggressive with the next set. Which I might need to be. So we still don't know if these guys in front are going to stay out and go to the end, or if they're going to stop again towards, the last few laps of the race, which they might do. They might do a little splash and dash change of tyres at the end. We're approaching our pit windows. We're going to stretch this stint. Let's get Felipe closing up a bit faster.
We can push more.
Yeah, copy.
So we just need to push now.
Copy.
Let's see if we can jump our way out past Gasly again. Yes, we can. Ocon up next. Ocon goes defensive.
Currently P4.
We'll dive up the inside.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place. Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
We'll tuck in here behind Bottas as he makes a run at the back of
All
Leclerc.
okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Copy.
Happy to push.
Yeah, copy.
Oh, damn it, I put my fuel into save. That's going to drop me out of DRS if I'm not careful. It has done. Come on, keep it up the inside. Yes, there we go. I might even have got DRS back off Ocon there, I'm not sure. Yes, I did. Fantastic, and Ocon didn't get it. That's beautiful. That's going to put Ocon under pressure from Gasly. Gasly almost got at the inside of him there.
We just need to charge up.
Copy.
Felipe still lagging off the back of this group by about 4.5 seconds. I've just got myself dropped again. But I'm close enough I'm far enough ahead to not lose position, and I should be able to close up in the final sector here. Let's just give a little squirt of battery to make sure I do.
You can use energy.
Copy.
Okay, suggest lift and coast.
Copy.
Felipe's starting to eke onto the back of Sonoda. Let's give him a little nudge.
We're good to push.
Okay.
Burn off some of that little bit of excess fuel that we've got. It'll just push the tyres a touch harder, but not as much as if we were actually pushing the pace. Ocon's been dropped as well. Just. It'll make him vulnerable to Gasly, but it could slow up the field behind if he can block him on this straight, and especially on the next one as well, which will give Felipe a better chance of closing up. We're going to go at least another 2 laps before we stop. Gasly is shaping up for a lunge, and so is Ricciardo. Ocon's fighting him. This is good. This is slowing the pair of them down. Ooh, excuse me. And that's going to keep Ocon out of DRS for another lap. We are going to go for it. See if we can stretch our legs a bit. And Bottas boxes. Now that is very interesting. That to me says that these other medium guys are going to be one-stopping as well. We've got a clean run on Leclerc here. We've got DRS on the next straight as well. We're about to swoop away from the Ferrari here. Drogovic now just 3 seconds off the back of the group in front.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up.
We're going to keep pushing, see if we can drop Leclerc. And I'm going to box Felipe this
We
lap.
think we can lean on the tyres more.
Copy, copy.
Box, box.
Yeah, copy, box.
So, Bottas has gone mediums. That'll be him to the end. We're going to go one more lap with Freddie. Is Leclerc going to box this lap? No, he's not. But Tsunoda is boxing. Ah, damn it, he's
Copy
boxing
that.
right in front of Felipe. Could have done without that. Bottas is going to get back in front of us, I think.
Tsunoda is pitting this lap.
There we go. Zhou and Schumacher are in as well. Bottas is through. We're going to come out Oh, right with Russell and Norris. Wow, we're out ahead of Norris. Fantastic. That was crucial. Alright, Freddie boxes from the lead. So, it's going to be touch and go actually, whether we can get out in front of Bottas. We should come out just behind him, I think. And Leclerc boxes as well. Oh, that's not good. We might get held for Leclerc here. That would suck if that happens. No, we are able to stay in front of him. Here comes Bottas. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. We pushed like hell, and we just about did enough. Bottas has got ahead of Leclerc, but we are now in net P1 because Ocon, Ricciardo and Gasly will probably stop again.
Use energy.
Copy.
Let's see if we can get past Russell nice and quickly here. Another thing they need to sort out in the new one. Yeah, getting held in the pits. It's a bit too extreme. Can we follow through? Yes, we can.
Nicely done.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
You're in a good place.
Aston Martin with a great
And there we go.
They've moved up a place.
Felipe is through. I kind of wish he hadn't got through there because he's given up the DRS now to Russell. Sonoda's lurking as well on those newer mediums. We'll lose out to Russell, but hopefully we can at least stay with Russell here. Even on this lower setting like this, we are still holding pace just about with Leclerc and Bottas. I mean, they closed up a touch there because of a DRS overtake, but it's looking pretty good for us as far as Freddie goes. If things were to finish like this, Freddie would get 4 points. No. He would get 3 points. It would not be enough to win the title outright.
You're doing a good job.
But it would make it pretty much a lock. Leclerc has closed in, so I'm just going to sit back
Back off.
and charge up.
Yeah, copy.
And then we'll sprint away again in a moment. Drogovic scrapping away with Russell here. This isn't ideal.
Push a bit more.
Yeah, copy.
Going to use those tyres. I am gambling on the fact that the Alpines and Gasly are still boxing by running my pace like this at the moment. If they don't, then I'm going to have to attack, start hunting them down. "17 laps to go." Leclerc is going to jump us here. That's okay. We've broken away from Russell just about. He is closing up onto DRS. Let's just give a little squirt of battery on the next straight to try and cancel that out a bit.
Energy if you need it.
Copy.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, copy.
We are closing in on the front runners quite substantially, as you can see. Leclerc with a very fast lap last lap with the DRS to overtake us there. We can easily take fastest lap back, but there's no real point. We haven't said we're going to go for it. It's not worth any points this season. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. It doesn't matter. And as you can see, Felipe is now in clear air, starting to close down. Tyre wear is a fraction higher than I would like it to be. It's okay though. The Red Bulls are completely gone. You know, Perez in 12th. A long way off the back of Sainz. Max down in 15th. Max has lost his title. As things stand, it will go to Brazil, and it'll be between our two drivers for the title. Get that last little bit of battery into Freddie's car.
Got loads of energy.
Copy.
We just need to charge up.
Copy.
Let's see, Felipe is doing 1:19.4s. It's quick enough to close the gap slowly. But it does look as though his title chances are over as well. I think it is going to be Freddie winning the title tonight, because the rate we're reeling in the front three, if they aren't stopping again, we're going to be on them in the next couple of laps anyway. And if they do stop again, they're not going to be able to challenge. So Freddie is theoretically, you know, battling for first place with Leclerc and Bottas here. There are the front three. You can see how much we've closed them down. And there is Felipe in the background. He needs second place if he's not going to win, just to stay in the hunt. It's looking more and more likely that's not going to happen.
So we just need to push now.
Copy.
Actually, you know, Felipe's not necessarily out of this. Now that the front three have been caught, we're going to be lapping to their pace until we get through them. Felipe's lapping 2 seconds a lap faster. So, yeah, he's going to be on them pretty quickly. He is going to get himself back into contention here.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
So use energy if you need it.
Yeah, copy.
Happy to push.
Copy.
So Ricciardo loses 3 positions in the space of 2 corners.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Maybe we can pressure Leclerc into a mistake here. You never know. Oh, got alongside him. And he swoop around it, and we just go from third to first. Oh, that's beautiful. And now we are going to sprint. Try and break away as quick as we can.
Aston Martin are moving up the field. Let's take a closer look. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Oh, it's a beautiful move. We boxed in Leclerc. Stopped him from being able to make the move on Ocon, and then tucked in front
Superb
of
move,
Ocon.
gaining more and more places. Back in the garage, the team absolutely loved it.
Superb stuff. Ocon with the DRS, but he is not quick enough to stay with Freddie, who is sprinting right now. And the DRS is the only thing that's holding Leclerc back, but it's giving us time to break away from that Ferrari. And Drugovich is now caught up. Let's get him charged up quickly. He's got to do the same thing, but he's got less laps to do it. Ocon still holding up Leclerc. We're 3 seconds ahead already. And Leclerc finally gets through. But the damage is done.
Okay, happy to lift and coast.
Okay, copy.
And there's the fastest lap. 1:17.9. Nearly 2 seconds faster. Freddie has driven like a true champion this season. He's been fantastic. He's the lowest rated driver on the grid, I think. Or is that... It might be Felipe, I'm not sure. His first season, he was thoroughly outclassed by Felipe. Second season, Felipe had the edge. Freddie improved. This season has been Freddie's year. He's been majestic this season. It's mainly down, I think, his dominance has been down partly to Felipe having a terrible start to the season.
Use energy.
Yeah, copy.
Oh, look at this from... Oh, Felipe! Felipe! He had a chance to just swoop past at least two of them there.
You're doing a good job.
That Mercedes is still right there. Oh, this is a four-car battle for the ages here.
This is good. You're doing a good job.
And there we go, Felipe is through.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place. Let's see what happened there. So this was the Aston Martin.
There was the move to get past Ricciardo, and then using the battery on the power, pushing the tyres,
And they clear it.
out-drags
Big move for them, and a
Gasly
race
in his
position
Alfa
gain.
Romeo there. Fantastic stuff. So
I think
two
it's
corners,
safe to say that went down
three corners
well
in,
with the team.
and 3 places
Looks like
gained
Aston
for
Martin
Felipe
have
there.
just gained a race position.
And he's sprinting, and that's a second to Gasly already. Which is good, because he's got no battery left. Vesti just comfortable right now.
Drop back a bit.
Felipe's still got some work to do. He's going to get DRS off the back of Ocon here, whose just pace is just gone. So 119.1 for Felipe. He's got no battery left, so he can't just power straight past Ocon here. Leclerc is 6 seconds up the road, 6.5 seconds, and that gap is getting bigger with every single corner. And we've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Is it actually Sector 3? Or is it somewhere random on the track?
Was that a lock-up on
It's
the track?
Schumacher on turn 3.
Let's
How is
have a
that
look.
Sector 3?
Watch this. There's Schumacher. Well, they've lost it. They've locked up.
And that's not turn 3 either. That's turn 4. They got everything wrong.
Doing a good job, keep pushing.
Ocon with a defensive switch. He's gone very, very tight. Felipe just about gets his car alongside. And he's through. And with the DRS, he will now pull away. Excellent
Doing a good job,
stuff.
that's going to help you.
And now he's got 8 seconds to close up to Leclerc just to stay in this championship, and he's got very few laps left to do it. Leclerc's doing 119.7s.
Energy if you need it.
Yeah.
To keep his championship hopes alive, he has to pass Leclerc. If he doesn't, Freddie wins the title.
So we just need to push now.
Yeah, copy.
5 more laps. 5 more laps.
He's got no battery left, so this is it. He's going to have to push his tyres to close that gap. 7 seconds, 5 laps. That's a big
Push
ask.
more.
Copy.
Can you imagine if he can get into second place to keep his championship hopes alive, and then something happens to Freddie and he wins in Brazil in his home race to take the championship to the final Grand Prix? That would just be just manic. Max has lost his title. He was 22 points behind at the end of this, at the start of this Grand Prix. He's now, on paper, as things stand, 32 points behind with only 20 to go after this race. So yeah, his title's gone. It's just a question of which one of our two drivers is going to wrestle it from him, and it looks like it's going to be Freddie, because I don't think Felipe's got enough pace in him to catch Leclerc. He has barely closed the gap on this lap.
4 more laps. 4 more laps.
So 119.7 for Charles. It's a 119.4 for Felipe. He gained 3 tenths. That was it. Leclerc is closing on the back of Freddie, so Freddie's upping his pace. The Constructors' title is already done and dusted, but if it wasn't, it certainly would be after today. Red Bull scoring 0 points. We're on for 14, maybe 16 if something happens to Leclerc. But I think something happening to Leclerc is the only way Freddie's going to move, Felipe's going to move up a place. He just doesn't have the tyres left.
Three more laps.
We're going to ride on board with Charles Leclerc as he tries to close the gap. This is the only thing that's going to stop Freddie from winning the title now, is Charles getting into DRS and overtaking. And I'm not going to push Freddie beyond this pace setting. Because I don't want to risk him crashing. Felipe has to. And even now, he's actually losing time now. His tyres are gone.
2 more laps.
A 1:19.8 for Freddie. It's a 1:19.6 for Leclerc. A 1:19.8 for Felipe, whose tyres are gone.
Yeah,
Let's just calm his car down again. Let's make sure he doesn't crash. He's still got to do another couple of races yet. Leclerc is just inching onto the back of Vesti here, who doesn't have any battery to deploy either. He has got a little bit of fuel. Let's burn that off now. It's not much. A couple of people scoffed at me at the start of this series when I said that Freddie would end up being the better driver between him and Felipe.
Last lap.
I think the proof is in the pudding here.
Some lift and coast will help that.
Yeah, copy.
Freddie's tyres are completely gone. He's just losing time now. He's going to come back in a distant third place. It's a podium, but it's not enough. The only man who can stop Freddie from winning the world title here and now is Charles Leclerc, and he's got less than half a lap to do it. He's not close enough to get DRS. The only way it's going to happen now is if Freddie does something stupid. Please don't do anything stupid, Freddie. He comes around the corner for the final time. He crosses the line, and Freddie is world champion.
Check it flag.
Oh, what a fantastic season for him. What a fantastic season for us. We won the Constructors' Championship last time out. We won the Drivers' Championship outright tonight. Red Bull have fallen apart this year. Ferrari fell apart early in the year. They kind of fought back a little bit towards the end of the season. McLaren showed glimpses of true, genuine pace. Mercedes started slow, got themselves back in on the pace quite, relatively early on, and were a constant thorn. But with Alpine being up there on a consistent basis, taking points off everybody as well, it made it very tight in the midfield, and it became a 2-horse race between us and Red Bull, and then Red Bull just completely imploded. And we have done the impossible. We have done both championships in just 3 seasons, with some very strict rules and regulations, with complete rookies as well. Neither of these drivers were established. They were both Formula 2 drivers when we started this series.
You can see that the team runs like a well-oiled machine. Everything was precise and on point this weekend.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
Coming up in the next round is the Sao Paulo Grand Prix as we head to Brazil. Join us next time at Interlagos.
So there we go. Confirmation of the final result. Freddie started on pole and finished in first. Yeah, a good race for Charles Leclerc, gaining 3 places to end up on the second step of the podium. Disappointment for Felipe. Freddie started in second. It was Felipe who started on pole and ended up in third place. 6 points gained. That means there's 20 points between the 2 drivers. 20 available, but Freddie will win on countback. Even if he fails to score or retires in the next 2 races and Felipe wins them both, Freddie has won 7 races. The maximum Felipe can win is 6. So Freddie will win the title on countback if he fails to score in either of the next 2 in both of the next 2 races and Felipe wins both of them. It still won't be enough. A fantastic season for Freddie to win 7 Grand Prix, 4 Grand Prix won for Felipe. Max chipped in with 4 wins. Perez got a win very early in the season, and his season has fallen apart since the mid-season break, if not earlier. Russell with 2 wins, Hamilton with a win, Bottas with a win. No wins for Charles Leclerc, or Norris, or Ocon, Ricciardo, Sainz. It's been an interesting spread of victories across the podiums, and at the end of the day, we have more of them than anybody else, and that's what counts. In the Constructors' Championship, we further stretch our already significant lead over Red Bull to the point where we are now 81 points ahead with just 32 available. Further cementing how well we have turned around the second half of this season and how much Red Bull have dropped away. Mercedes sort of trying to cement themselves into third place with another 3 points. McLaren failing to score another race where it could have been something special for Hamilton. He had pace despite his penalty for a new engine. But whereas he crashed, without pressure from the lead in Kota, he was taken out in this Grand Prix by Magnussen when he was running in a decent position, and that's all she wrote. So no points for McLaren. If we take a look, exceptional race rating for Freddie as always. 17 overtakes, 16 defences, 23 failed overtakes, 8 failed defences. For Felipe, 15 overtakes, 25 defences, 19 failed overtakes and 7 failed defences. Been a hell of a season for both drivers. And next up is Brazil in 11 days' time. We will have our final car update for the season. We do have a new ATR period. I don't think I have time to get that major side pod on the car. We'll have a look and just see if we can squeeze it on, but I don't think we can. I don't think we've got enough time. No, we can't. Even with 6 engineers and rushing it, we could get it in 18 days. That's the only way we could do it, and that would be breaking the rules. The most we can do is 5 with no rush. So that would take 29 days. It would be after the season. So no more updates, in the pipeline apart from the chassis, which will be ready on the day of the Brazilian Grand Prix first practice. Let's have a look at our drivers. Do we have skill points to issue? No, we do not. Freddie is on a high, understandable, considering he's just won the championship. There's his driver stats, as you can see. His reactions have improved throughout this season as we've moved away from working on his braking and his cornering to boost his reactions a little bit. Felipe, more natural pace, but just doesn't have as much everywhere else as and Freddie. Freddie is a much more well-rounded driver. And it showed over the course of this season. When he was quick, he was very quick, Felipe, but he was a little more inconsistent. He made a few more mistakes. He had some retirements, and that's ultimately what cost him his chance at the title. Let's accelerate time. Get that final part on the car. Board are absolutely delighted with us, as they damn well should be. Our team hub is fully refurbed. We've got a few parts in here that are going to break before the end of the season, but that doesn't matter because they're not going to get used again this year or ever. We're not going to be designing any more parts. Hospitality is almost done with its refurb, but it won't take place till after the season, just in time for all those parties to show off how good our drivers and our team are to the sponsors. Our boardroom is going to get a nice spit and polish upgrade just after Brazil. Just in time for the end of the season review. And there is the new chassis, so let's get that built and on the car. We're going to emergency manufacture 3. Let's go 4, just in case. We've got the money. So let's fit our new chassis onto the car. And there you can see, if we go back to the previous version, install that on car 1. There is the difference in performance. It will give us a little bit of a speed boost. Someone has brought another upgrade because our speed has dipped again. We were supposed to be 7th going into this Grand Prix, into the last Grand Prix, and we dropped to 9th before this chassis upgrade. Interesting, very interesting. So, there we go. That is the end of tonight's stream. What a season we've had. Winning the Constructors' Championship and the Drivers' Championship with just 2 races left in the season. Fantastic stuff. We'll finish the season out, even though we've already achieved everything that there is to achieve before the end of the game, before the new one comes out. But we'll finish the season off. We'll get the final standings for teams and drivers. Felipe is pretty much, I think, a lock for second place in the Drivers' Championship. He's 12 points ahead of Max, so there is still a chance that Max could get second place. We'll try and hold him off as best we can. If we are in a position where we need to let one of our drivers go and sprint off into the distance, we will favour Felipe for the rest of the season now to guarantee him championship position over Max, especially in the next race, because that'll be Felipe's home race. So I think that'll be a nice thing to do for him, is to make sure that he can finish as high up the championship as possible and beat Max. As far as the Constructors' Championship goes, it's still close between Mercedes and McLaren. It's very close between Ferrari and Alpine, and AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo battling it out for 7th. Haas and Williams, it's unlikely we'll see either of them score a point, but you never know. Zhou's got that new engine. He was quick at Mexico. Could he possibly pull out a shock result and score a point and throw Williams into that battle? Could Magnussen stop taking people out in long enough to finish a race and maybe sneak a point? Who knows? I mean, there are only 6 places paying points, so it's very tough to earn them. But it's going to be interesting to see what does happen in terms of the standings in the last 2 races. Let me know in the comments who you think will get 3rd place. Will it be McLaren or will it be Mercedes? Do you think Ferrari can hold off Alpine, who have been very quick in the last few races? And Ferrari have been very inconsistent this year, as is evidenced by their lack of points this year. Let me know what you think, and we shall find out next week. Monday I'll be streaming some City Skylines. We'll finish this season and this game off on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and then Thursday we'll be back with Alien Dark Descent to carry on with our Nightmare playthrough. So that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. I've certainly enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed the season as well. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.